When you hear the term flower girls in politics, you being an active member of county assembly, have you seen it being active?
I fought my path and my way into politics. Yes, I was nominated. Lakini haikuishia hapo. What do I do in the assembly? Does it quantify me nikwe flower girl? Hapana. Kwani unaniita hivyo?
There is a lot of body shaming when it comes to politics and women. There are a lot of body shaming.
And yeah.
For example, you find someone calling you mefupa because of my body size. Now you wonder,
surely mifupa jamani.
Mifupa ijakudunga.
Kwani mifupa ndio ina vote? All of us know that Kenya bado tujafika 2/3 gender rule. Na tunaongeleanga kila siku. Kila mtu anakuja na promise 2/3. Tutawai toka block hiyo. Tutawai fika kweli. Tutawai fika hiyo 3.3%.
I believe our leadership should be a reflection of the population. Currently, when it comes to gender, in terms of our population, we are almost 50-50. So it means it is possible for this to apply when it comes to leadership.
Tunahitaji women reps.
Inafaa kuwa.
It
should be there. We should be represented.
I know this is a controversial opinion, but I would say no, we do not. Kenya as a country, we suffer from over representation. Why do we have over 300 people in the assembly? What is their work? Like she mentioned, the woman rep position was put in as an affirmative action. There's other ways we can do affirmative action without overly filling up the rooms.
You know, there's a cost that we never put out in a spreadsheet as women. And most of it we encounter as women. That is sextortation. Has someone asked you for sex in exchange of anything within the political space? Welcome to the Roundtable Dialogue. We are so excited to have you today. And the episode ya leo, I'm so excited because today ni akina mama jamani. We are so excited to have all of you listening. Tunawashukuru sana for joining us. I don't know if you realize I'm having my pink earring, so that means the room is a bit pinkish. Hata kama tunalipishanga tax zaidi because of pink items. Leo nime-represent kidogo, and we're so excited to have you joining us for the important conversation that is often not talked about, but we ought to talk about. And today we're going to dive in beyond the surface level. Tunaenda kuongelea politics and women. Flower girls is our topic for today. Now, in Millie Odhiambo's book, she mentions that women were often called flower girls in beginning of our democracy. Yani wamama walikuwa kurembesha politics. There was nothing more, there was nothing less. It was just, we're giving you a token just because of your gender. And today we are going to demystify that particular conversation, not because of, we're just women and everyone should deserve a seat. No, it's because there's something more that women are bringing to the table than what we have experienced over the years. And I just want to emphasize the Roundtable Dialogue is brought to you by the Big Talk, which is a civic education platform that seeks to educate, create awareness, and simplification of policies and bills in this country, and PIAC Kenya, which is a consortium of different organizations that promote inclusive electoral reforms in Kenya. These organizations, allow me to say, is the Oslo Center, Election Observation Group, Mzalendo Trust, CDPOK Kenya, which is a consortium of disabled persons organizations in Kenya, Ushahidi, Summerbox, Netherlands Institute of Multi-Party Democracy, and of course, being funded by European Union. Leo, kama vile nimesema, niko na wamama wa power, jamani. Wamama, karibuni. Karibuni to the Roundtable Dialogue. As you've heard, the topic for today is flower girls. Now, that does not mean we are flower girls. We are just not girls. We are powerful women who have actually created a system in this country where some laws or some bills will not have been in play. Allow me to introduce Honorable Eunice Mukai. Karibu sana, aspirant for Pipeline Ward.
Yes.
Karibu sana, naona umeng'ara. Mungetuambia tunafaa kung'ara kama nyinyi jamani. Tumeng'ara sana. And
Thank
also
you.
Honorable Mary Kituku, nominated member of County Assembly, Machakos County. Karibu sana mheshimiwa.
Asante.
Leo tuko na mheshimiwa jamani. And we have none other than Shakira Wafula, active citizen and the person who has been in the forefront to actually steward a better democracy, not just a democracy, a better democracy. Now, kama ujui Shakira sijui nini mbaya na wewe, I think you should work hard a little bit. But Shakira, ako kila pahali, ako kwa matatu, ako kwa gari. Unafaa kuwekwa kwa our money. Unajua at least tuko nyuma na Jomo Kenyatta na kitu tu hapo, because how much you have been influential. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. And I know most of the time women, it's usually women should just be on the table, right? I want to ask, as we start with you, Honorable Mary, when you hear the term flower girls in politics, you being an active member of county assembly, have you seen it being active? Has someone treated you, huyo ni mwanamke, huyo hayuko, si lazima vote leo, ama si lazima wakwe kwa meeting leo?
Thank you so much, Charlotte. Angry is an understatement. Kukasirika, ujaona nimejam, cause why do you underestimate me? Kwa nini unataka nikue chenye unataka mimi nikue? It has happened a lot of times in the county assembly, and worse, by the women who are with us.
So you're saying it's not only the men, but it's also, it's mostly the women?
It's both genders.
Oh, it's both, okay.
You see, I fought my path and my way into politics. Yes, I was nominated. Lakini haikuishia hapo. What do I do in the assembly? Does it quantify me nikue flower girl? Hapana. Kwa nini unaniita hivyo? Mimi sijakuja kurembesha assembly.
Umeitwa hivyo?
A lot of times.
Really?
Yes, to my face.
Oh, mtu anakuambia flower girl Mary?
When it comes to voting,
yeah.
Ati hapana, hao wakae kando. Wakae kando kwanza we vote. Whatever we're voting for is a legislative. I'm a representative of Machakos County.
You are.
Kwa nini hamtaki mimi nipige kura? Ama hapana. Hiyo siku ya kura unapata, if the House Business Committee has met, they don't air out what is going to be balloted. Maybe I had a clinic or an appointment with a doctor. I have sought the permission from my speaker and I'm not going to come. But whoever is supposed to pass the information to the speaker, hata niambia hapana Mary, ongea na doc uende after. Because they know they don't want my vote there. They don't want my voice. Mara mingi sana Charlotte.
Okay.
Hata nataka ukuje huko tupigane pamoja na wewe.
Nataka nijue on ground watu. Mtu anakuita flower girl kama umesimama.
Imagine.
Mimi siwezi kubali kitu kama hiyo. Siwezi kubali hiyo. We'll get to the gist of that and to the flesh of this conversation, because you're here to have real conversation. Mimi sitaki ya juju, sitaki conversation ya we're going to get into the details.
Sawa.
Honorable Eunice, acha niulize swali. You're vying.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We know how much violence women go through.
Yes, because
But
I tried.
we will get to the violence, just not yet. Let me ask, have you not been considered seriously just because you're a woman?
Yeah. Most of the time, they see us women as if we are tools. We are not human beings. We are not more like them.
Yes.
And to my surprise and to my dismay, those who do that, if it is a man, they use your fellow women to pin you down. And you find a woman pinning you down and you are like, where are we going? Will you ever meet the two that's gender?
Do you mind giving me the examples of those times you have
You
an
could
example?
even go for a rally and then women are shouting at you. They are abusing you. They are calling you sort of names. And there is a lot of body shaming when it comes to politics and women. There are a lot of body shaming.
And yeah.
For example, you find someone calling you mefupa because of my body size. Now you wonder,
surely mifupa jamani.
Mifupa ijakudunga.
Kwani vifupa ndo ina vote?
Now that is now where the conversation is. People don't respect other their body structure and how you are, because we cannot all be equal. We cannot all be the same. We are different structured. So you find a fellow woman, abusing you, and then you've done nothing wrong to them. And when you go to the backstage of whatever she's telling you, you find there is a man behind that. So it is
it's a woman being used as a
for
tool.
women, because we should be holding one another's hand, but we are pulling one another's down, which is too bad and too sad. So I feel, because in our culture, in Kenyan culture now, you find that we go to the same schools, same teachers, same careers. We do them, both women and men. Yeah. But when it comes to politics, they pin us down. You wonder, that same teacher who taught you is the same teacher who taught me when you were in high school, when you were in college or whatever. But when it comes to politics, you feel more superior. Then there comes the question, why? We have the same brains. Yeah. So and women are born managers in most cases. I wish Kenyan women could learn this. We are born managers. Because you find in a house setup, you are given this sufuria jobs, fanya ABCD, fagia,
Yeah.
fanya.
Yeah.
That is a manager. Because
Yeah.
you do that work before the parents come the evening, you've done everything.
Hata
the
wajui
manager
ilifanyika
did.
aje.
Yes, but the house is neat, everything is neat.
Yeah.
So it is high time Kenyans know that women are born managers.
And we're getting to that, Honorable Eunice. Shakira, you have not been actively probably in parliament as they're trying to do, but you have been such a movement breaker as well. I want to ask, in this spaces that you have been, and tunasemanga saa zingine, you know, when someone is in activism or someone is advocating for something, we think everyone is the same, or we think everyone has the same ideologies. But have you experienced people looking down on you just because that you're a woman now lead these oppositions?
Yes, I've experienced that, but I feel like how I present myself and my personality, that is not even something that occurs to me immediately. Like, unless somebody points out, you know, like this happened to you because you're a woman, or they decided to overlook you or favor you because you're a woman. I do not usually move with my gender like on top of my mind.
Yeah.
But it does happen. And for me, actually, my biggest concern, it hasn't been like being looked down upon as a woman, rather being given unfair expectations compared to other men in the same position.
What do you think are some of those unfair expectations?
For example, if you walk into a room, you're dressed in a certain manner that whoever is in the room does not like, and it's like, unaibisha wanawake, what are you doing?
Let me ask, because you've spoken on dressing. Let me just ask. Akina mama hapa, even when you're vying and when you're vying. Mara mingi tunaambiwa, let me use an example. When I sat down with my uncle, when I said, anataka kuingia 27, okay, advise me. Akaniambia, first of all, anza kushona nguo inafika huko chini. Hata kama nimevaa kwa kiheshima, but anza kushona ukae kama mama Muafrika. Mnaelewa yenye nasema? Zile vitenge huko, zile hizo vitu zote, na tutembe na to dance. Actually tutaongelea hiyo wanawake kuambiwa kudance kwa stages. I think it's quite disrespectful to your brain that has worked hard, has gone to school, has done all those things. But let me ask, when you are in these positions, well, where you're vying, well, you're also vying as well. But when you were vying at that time to be recognized as well, to be nominated, did you have to go to this particular requirements of kushona nguo? And do we have to do that? But I understand we're in an African concept, but is it necessary, as Shakira has said, unajua hujavaa yenye inafika huko chini na kitenge, labda hata hujai kununua hata kitenge. But Honorable Mary, please tell us.
Fortunately, yes, I had to. And there's a good reason.
Yeah.
Decency. Most times they don't know how to air it out. Lakini vaa tu si hata ifike chini kiheshima upate
the
surrounding that is the place penye unaenda kukaa, you will be very much comfortable. Because why? Media wanakwaga wanangoja saa yenye umekaa vibaya, sijui kango kama inuka wapi.
It's a storyline.
Yeah.
Okay, Honorable.
On my side, I would say there was a phrase going like, my dress, my choice. You know, it is not in your mind that matters, not how you dress. For example, during my last elections, I was an aspirant. And it was my first time to wear trousers. I was never used to wear trousers. But I could go to a rally, ukicheza utatolewa dress yenye umevaa. However, how long it is.
Wow.
So ilifika mahali I was told.
Unatolewa trouser na nani?
They would, not trousers, the dress.
I mean, unatolewa dress.
Watazinua tu. You know.
Oh, okay.
In political arena unapata, your opponents are there and they have their own goons.
I agree.
No, they'll do anything to you with
agree.
that dress. So ilibidi nijue kuvaa trouser. And for that case, jeans trousers. And I could tie them with a very big belt. Hiyo ilikuwa kama silaha. Ucheze na mimi itakuwa silaha. Because we are vulnerable women in political arena. When there is something political, you must be very much cautious. From your dressing to everywhere. So
I like that you say that, because one time I think Esther Passares mentioned what they go through. And I just want to alert to everyone. People actually were about to do things that are unmentionable, but the only people who actually rescued her was a few group of women who had rallied behind her and rescued her towards another sector. Sometimes tunatupianga politicians a lot of smack, but they actually go through a lot, especially as women. I imagine Esther Passares, you know, a second, amekuwa women rep. And then kuna mtu hapo, amemshika all the way. And I'm going to speak like that because sometimes we don't want to speak of these things.
Must speak it out.
Thank you so much. Shakira, as you've dived in, let me just ask a question to all of us, right? All of us know that Kenya bado hatujafika 2/3 gender rule. Na tunaongeleanga kila siku. Kila mtu anakuja ana promise 2/3. Everyone is speaking on that. A lot of petitions have been sent to the National Assembly, a lot of them. And I just want to ask, now, Kenya, where we stand, I think we're 23 or 24% women representation. The highest is Rwanda at 61%. Hata Uganda wametushinda, guys. 34%. Namibia as well, yeah. I mean, the president and the deputy as well, and the vice president as well are women. Tutawai toka block hiyo, tutawai fika kweli, tutawai fika hiyo 3.3%.
Saa ingine ni ngumu.
Nini inafanya iwe ngumu?
Mobilization. We already know how to make ourselves in those correct places. We know what to do. Tumesoma kila kitu. We have Oslo, we have Badili, we have all those bios.
Yes.
Wametufunza. But after all the training, what do? We don't mobilize. Kitu tu ndogo.
We don't mobilize who?
The women in the National Assembly.
Okay.
They know. Hiyo motion ikikuja, tunafaa kuwa na numbers. They don't. They can't vote for themselves or kwa peke yao. They don't. Kitu tu simple. Ni aje nataka unisaidie na ABCD. Motion yako ikikuja, mimi nitaku back up. Mobilization too. Civic education among themselves to know what they're voting for. Yeah. Of course, it's not going to be a piece of cake doing that.
Of course.
Si kitu ya kwanza yenye...
Not everyone wants that.
I love men, you know.
Absolutely.
You know why? Sababu mwanaume akitaka kitu ataipata. No matter the circumstance or situation. Lakini wanawake, we can do that even better than the men. Lakini hiyo siku unapata, the women themselves, they don't come to bunge. Who's going to vote for nini? To that gender rule?
Yeah. Shakira, what do you have to say about that particular, about 2/3 gender rule? And I just want to emphasize, as Honorable Mary has said, this is not a gender war. We are not here to debate if men are better or women. Actually, I do agree God has made us so beautifully different and same at the same time that we highlight and complement our features and our abilities. Mi sina nguvu ya wanaume. Sitaki kubeba cement. Unajua, sina hiyo nguvu. I'm just a girl. And the same way we can do things that men cannot do, I think that's the beauty of it. We're not here for a gender war. Shakira, when you hear of the 2/3 gender rule, what comes to your head?
I think I believe our leadership should be a reflection of the population. Currently, when it comes to gender, in terms of our population, we are almost 50-50. So it means it is possible for this to apply when it comes to leadership. However, we face a problem where our society is inherently a patriarchal society. And even for a woman to qualify, to be able to partake in certain roles at the same level that a man does, they need to put in extra work. It is expected that this woman, like she said, we are born managers. So she has to manage her home, her family, if she has a family, or if she doesn't have a family, she is in the process of getting a family. If she has children, she needs to take care of children. When parents have daughters and sons, usually the burden of taking care of the parents is on the daughters most of the time, right? So our society, the way our society is set up in itself, it makes accessibility of these positions even more difficult for women. But if we just look at numbers, we are 50-50, almost 50-50 in our population. So yes, it is achievable to have a parliament, to have county assemblies where the gender rule is applied.
You say that a lot of women spend a lot of time, especially, I think the High Court once ruled that women need to be paid for their unpaid labor. Because imagine, women wake up at 5, we prepare breakfast, we prepare shule, we prepare watoto waende, wasije nguo, wapike lunch, wapike jioni, wachukue huyo mtoto, wakuje tena, jamani, see, that's a lot of work. So I want to give you guys an statistic on women candidates in Kenya spend more than on campaigns than men and win less. A woman running for women representatives spends on average 22.8 million. That's a woman. That is more than what it costs a man to run an equivalent National Assembly seat. So yes, imagine tunatumia 22.8 million just for women rep. And I think it's more even with Kenyan politics and where we are. And I just want to ask, even as we are diving into this particular section, is that, Shakira, you being in the front lines of the Gen Z protest, right? Young women wrote the policy brief, walipanga logistics, watu walikuwa wamejipanga vibaya sana. And women were on the front lines of doing all of those things. And I think that was the first time we saw women coming out so boldly. Other than pre-independence, we've seen this time women have really played a part, and they play a big part even during time ya Moi. Unajua ile time when the women were coming before, release the prisoners. When the dust settled, Shakira, and committees were formed and to negotiate, na government, how many seats were given to the young women? Do you think there's early representation of women after Gen Z protest, after our protest?
I did not actually see any.
Because the people I know who are brought into those powers,
there isn't. I remember even the cabinet was reshuffled, and we did not see any young woman being introduced into any ministry, either as a cabinet secretary or a PS, nothing like that. But also actually going back to my first point, where as a woman, when you walk into a room, you're a representation of the whole gender and the woman population. But men are allowed to walk into rooms and just be men without being a reflection of other men. So it should, because it ends up being women are critiqued more harshly, and the impact is that it hinders access for other women. So I'll give an example as we speak right now. It is said, conversation is that women are not supposed to be given power. Why? Look at the women that we've given power. What have they done? Yeah. You see? So it's but never in the history of Kenya, in the history of the world, it's mostly men who take up these leadership positions. But have you ever had conversation, maybe we should try giving women leadership because the men have failed us? That never happens. So it is something we need. It is a value we need to learn and unlearn when it comes to even how we raise ourselves and bring up our children in society. Because even me, I've caught myself several times. I'm like, this one is a burden to women, but very few instances do I consider this one is a burden to men. So it's even like in my mind, it's so deeply rooted in my mind of how we judge performance and how we perceive representation when it comes to the gender.
Absolutely. I think even, I'm going to ask you, Honorable Mary, at Ameleta swali of where we think of women, we turn them to something else, the representation of a whole collective. Actually, we're being a member of county assembly, right? I'm sure you went through a lot before you even got to that position. Some things probably you can't even say behind camera. But let me ask you, during, when people keep asking, do we need women representatives? And I'm going to ask every one of us, is it a necessity in this country? Do we need them? Or media to be enough of what we need to know about women representatives? So in your eyes, as a woman, in a position, in a county, mkubwa wetu, mheshimiwa, tunahitaji women reps?
Affirmative action si kitu ya kuongelelea. Inafaa kuwa. It should be there. We should be represented. However, I'll ask you a question.
Absolutely.
As you ask me. Are we ready to call out the women who are not working for us? Are we ready to call them out? Are we ready to go out in the streets and tell them, Mheshimiwa Mary, you did this wrong? Na sababu tumekuambia mara mbili tatu hausikii, we going to vote in for another candidate.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Because most times we are happy to get those positions, yes. We will defend them with our blood and our lives. Sindio? But what if I'm not working for the people? Just because that position is supposed to be for the women, nitakushikilia mkono na wewe ufanye kazi. it's one question that we should ask each other. Unfortunately, we only have 6 female governors. We had 7.
We had 7.
It was not a good number, but I was happy with it. We've gone down by 1.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of why we have 6. We also what happened.
Yes.
I was not happy about it, but mbona hatunge raise mwanamke mwingine akalie position na to promise to do a better job, tumshikilie mkono. So yes, these affirmative actions, the nominations from the MCAs to the MPs to the Senate, I am for them, yes. Lakini tukipatiwa hizo viti, go and work for the people.
So,
we won't be having this conversation ya kuuliza kwa nini tunapewa hizo viti.
So swali ni tunahitaji women rep.
Yes.
So yes.
Yes.
Honorable Eunice, tunahitaji women rep.
Okay, on my side.
And what is the role of women reps? I'd like to emphasize and ask all of us, for you to educate us.
Yeah.
What is the role of a women representative?
Okay, I think the women representative seat came because of the 3rd gender role. That is why the seat was created. But on my side, I am vying for a seat. I vied for a seat in 2022 and I'm still vying it. But I have so many voices telling me, si ungoje nominatiwe. Kwa nini unavai? Mbona unashindana na wanaume? Those are the voices, those are the voices people give us as women. And then there comes a big question, why can't you vie? Mbona wanawake tusivai na tupigiwe kura? At least we have the same voice. Uliza Mary. When Mary she's there as a nominated MCA, I'm a nominated member of County Assembly, unapata kuna wenye look down upon because they are elected. They feel they are more superior. Maybe because they feel they were elected by the people and alipoa na party. But at the long run, they are all members of County Assembly. They do the same things. They legislate, they supervise, and they represent. That is their role. So as women, the seat of the women rep, it is good to have it. But my question is, do you have a voice from the 47 seats of the women rep? You don't even know others. That is, we know Pasari because she's from Nairobi.
Inajulikana.
And I voted for her for the 2nd time.
Yeah.
But you ask me why? Because she's a woman. I don't have a very solid answer why I voted for her. Wengine waliangalia sura, wengine wakaangalia because she's there and she's a woman. Now it is high time women representatives talk and make people hear their voices. Because you don't know the women, I only know 2. I think 2. Nairobi and Machakos, where I come from. I know them because they are my people. But I don't know the Nakuru women rep, I don't know who they are. When it comes to the governors, we had 7 governors, women governors. And I had a question. By the yesterday, I was asking myself a question. You find a governor is a male, the deputy is a male. Who provoked them to do a deputy who is a male because they are women? Are you getting my question? You are a lady, you are vying for a governor. Then you take a deputy governor who is a male because you are a lady. But the men are all right doing the men thing. You get the question?
Yeah.
I was asking myself yesterday. We had 7 women governors.
Yeah.
But how many women deputy governors? So it starts from us. When will we ever learn and make things right? It's not a man thing. It is our thing. When you want to do a woman thing, do it with proud. But now if you are being told, now you are a woman, you have to get a deputy who is a male, na anaanza kukukula mkiingia. Because like, for example, Kawira, she was doing a good job.
Yeah.
A very good job. And she was seen and heard. But what happened to her? Men ganged against her and she was pulled out. When she was, where were the women in Kenya? Silent. When now one of us is being attacked. So it's high time women we know our place.
Yeah.
It's not kitchen. Our place is out of kitchen. From kitchen to everywhere, to the world. Yes. We are multitaskers.
Kabisa.
So if a woman is caught doing something, na inakuwa is, like for example, the other time in Machakos, there was let me call it a show. It was just a show. Let me call it a show. You could go to the online matters. Every day it was about Machakos count. Then ukiongea unaambiwa wanawake kama ni fulani atuwapei kitu. Now you unashangaa. How many men in this Kenya have stolen billions of thousands of Kenyan money?
Yeah.
But they are good because they are men.
Yeah.
Mwanamke mmoja ibe 1 million. It will be a show. So please, I want the voters to know this.
Yeah.
Vote leaders, not gender.
Yeah.
Leaders.
Thank you so much. Shakira, on that particular question, do we need women representatives?
I know this is a controversial opinion, but I would say no, we do not. Kenya as a country, we suffer from over representation. Why do we have over 300 people in the assembly? What is their work? Like she mentioned, the woman rep position was put in as an affirmative action. There's other ways we can do affirmative action without overly filling up the rooms, right? Because if you look at the roles defined for a women representative and the ones for member of parliament, it is almost the same, only that one has been said it has to be a woman and it's going to be for the county. But what they have to do, like the workload that they have as women representative, it does not exist. It's being forced. So an alternative would be like the 2/3 gender rule. Let it be enforced even from during the nominations, when the IEBC is approving people to be put on the ballot papers. Do the numbers match? Like, do we have enough numbers of women versus men in that manner? When parties are doing their nominations within their parties, is the 2/3 gender rule implemented? So we can't just be creating positions for the sake of creating positions because we want affirmative action. No, we want affirmative action, but let it be sensible. Let it be practical, not just creating room so that we can say women are represented, while the roles of these positions don't even make sense in the grand scheme of things.
Shakira, I think venye umesema hivyo, IBC ametoka tu hapo sahi, and I wish you could hear some of the things that he mentioned. And most of the time I think we think IBC has so much power, but power ndio iko na power. Unajua?
Power is power.
Power is power. Tunaelewa hiyo inamaanisha nini. We think IBC has so much, like their mandate has to do so much work, but then if you hear them speak and what they have to speak, you realize power iko na wenyewe, unajua. And we were saying we want to have those positions of power, as Oburu Odinga said, kila watu hatuna power, hatuwezi kosa power. I want us to talk and just diving into something particular. And, we talk about the cost of running for office in Kenya. Most of the time, kama tumesema 22.8 million, depends. Unatuambia ni pesa ngapi ulitumia mheshimiwa Mary? Tuone kama tutakuchangia M-Pesa tujue kwanza. And we talk about the tribes, the bribes you must navigate. We talk about the intimidation. We talk about, hizo vitu lazima usurvive. Unajua kama nomination lazima usurvive. Hizo vitu zote. But, there's a cost that we never put out in a spreadsheet as women. And most of it we encounter as women. That is sextortation. Let me use an example. I did my internship in the National Assembly, right? Now, when I was there, just a 21-year-old girl, the politicians who are on TV and the people you see on ground are two different people, especially the men. And anytime they used to hit on me, again, I think because of my belief systems, nilikuwa naambia, Bwana Yesu hapendi hiyo. The Lord hates adultery. Unafanya nini wewe mtu mzee na mtu mdogo kama mimi jamani? And they would run. They will run away. Also, we've had so many conversations of women in elective positions have to give of their bodies to retain. So mi swali yangu ni, kama umevai na pesa yako as an elective woman, umepata your position, you still have to sleep your way up to get international trips, to get tenders, to get all of those things. So I'm going to ask all of you, just a yes or no answer. Has someone asked you for sex in exchange of anything within the political space? Yes or no? You don't have to get into deeper of that. I'm going to say, no. Mine, they didn't ask, they just insinuated. But I'm going to start with mine. Honorable Mary, you being there. Atufichi white, jamani.
Sadly, yes.
Yes. So you've been asked, ndio, Shakira?
Outright, like, no. But insinuated and, being coerced and things like that. Yeah.
Honorable Dennis.
I would say, not to that extent, but they tried. But they wanasemanga, mimi ni manga, I don't know. Nimepata that ni sana. Huyu msichana ni manga sana.
I think tukicheka na kila mtu.
Na kanga wakiona najiuliza, are you really this manga? Sielewi manga ina. By the way tukienda kwa parliament nimekaa hapo sana pale sitio. Wanasema huyu msichana ni that black girl is ni manga sana. Mpaka najiuliza. Sasa nikauliza one jamaa.
Akasemaje?
Sasa utaki kuingia box, sasa utaki kuingia pin, wewe ni mang'aa.
But afadhali uitwe mang'aa lakini
Wacha niitwe mang'aa but nione
Exactly.
wacha nisikue the good girl and be the bad girl.
Kabisa. Now, guys, I want to read you again. 2 out of 5 women candidates running in the 22 general elections experienced sexual harassment on their Twitter accounts, X accounts. And mi swali yangu ni, okay, as you've said, people use bodies to body shame you regardless. If you're fat, if you're not, if you're thin, if you're whatever. People still use that as a tool. And I don't think itaisha. And this is across the world, even, not even in Kenya alone. My question is, have all of you also gone through sexual harassment or online? Or has it been a tool, especially against persons you have been in? And if you want to dive into that, please dive in. Because next year in the elections, so we are even telling younger women who are going to vie that this is an expectation. As much as we are trying to avoid it, kwa ground inafanyika. Honorable Mary.
Charlotte, unafungua Pandora box.
Okay, acha nifungue tu, nitafunga.
I wish you would see my DM. Inakaa kitu ingine.
Are you serious?
Zana kuna mtu ameniambia, I will give you anything. You come. And you will give me anything. I will give you what you want. And I wonder, what do I want? Mi hakuna kitu nataka.
I wanted to ask that, yeah.
Hata sijui nataka nini. It was an open conversation. Mpaka niliuliza mtu, simu yako imeibiwa. It's somebody known to me. Simu yako imeibiwa ama ni uko nayo?
Or someone you're familiar with?
Yes. Somebody I've met like 4 times across the paths. Unaona venye unapatana na mtu, maybe nikikuza masako I will need your help or something. Namwambia sawa. I was like, whatever was written there I cannot utter. And I can imagine because I said no and I asked them if they are right in their mind. Siku moja atakasirika aseme he will post side yangu peke yangu, hata post yake chenye aliniambia.
Atakata.
Of course, that is what they do.
At least uko na evidence.
Niko na evidence, yes. But I'm just assuming that is what happens to everyone. It's not the first time it has happened, but people will DM you or even write on your wall. Unajiona sana we ni nini na tulifanya. You wonder, you've never met this person.
In their life.
History unaambiwa hata ni kama si wewe ukae kando usikie ni nini. So that happens a lot. It even happens, I'll give an example of my county assembly, which
Please
I
do.
love so much.
Yeah.
It goes down to the clerks that work for us.
Wow.
Sexual favors. Anakuta anakuambia, mheshimiwa fulani wa fulani mi ananisumbua. And me being the youngest, sangine uko kwa assembly na shanga sasa nitakusaidia aje. If I call out that person, outrightly watasikia aibu na watanitafutia makosa. But that is what I do. So it doesn't even occur to us as members in assemblies. Mpaka clerks wetu. Unapata clerk venye asha file for sick off sababu anajua akikuja. And you know they can't say no. They are afraid. So I'm imagining me as a member. Kama hawaniogopi. My juniors, watafanya nini?
But who helps them? Who are the juniors? If you don't speak up about those
no,
issues.
what I've been doing,
Yeah.
I thank God for our speaker. She's female. Mi naenda nawasema nawaseti. Nawaseti nasema fulani wa fulani alisema fulani.
Do we see action being taken?
Yes.
What are some of
she
the
does.
actions? What are some of the actions?
She writes a letter to them. Ama anakuita kwa ofisi.
But
When it comes from the members of the county assembly, yes. But if it's the clerks, awe unaenda nyumbani. Unaenda nyumbani because that is sexual harassment.
Hiyo ndio swali yangu nilikuwa nataka kuuliza, wanaenda nyumbani au
unaenda nyumbani kabisa. Alafu kesho tuna advertise kazi. Uende ukasumbuane huko kwenu. Kabisa. Na upate adabu. And I'm calling out.
Please do.
Wenye watu mna harass wengine huko. Shame on you vigorously. Vigorously. Our clerks have gone through a lot. And they're young girls like your age. Unapata akishuali hataki kukaa committee. That's her work. How's she going to get paid? And then the next thing she's going to get a letter from the higher position ati ukuji kazi. You've not come for work for a week or 2. You've not shown up. What is the problem?
Kubu unapata ni harassment. Walikuwa anapitia.
Yeah.
Honorable Eunice, anything you have to add on that?
Mary has said, I think it is this time women we speak for ourselves. Because if you harass me in secrecy, not unless I speak out, who will come for me? I've been into the county assembly of Nairobi for some time, and there was a time I went to the canteen down there, and one mheshimiwa was very happy, a male mheshimiwa, showing me huyo alikataa kulalishwa na speaker ndio sababu hajaenda. Yani it is like they are enjoying what they are
proud.
doing. Sasa huyu hata hajaenda trip hata moja international because alikataa na hiyo mwili yake. Akikufa atakufa tutapewa mwili. No, they take it very casually mpaka I was upset.
And you're hearing this conversation.
I slapped him.
Ulikuwa hapo?
Hapo. Mpaka the ni akakuja mali niko the security guard. Why you nikasema si ni boyfriend yangu kwani mtu akicheza na boyfriend kuna shida. Hapo ndio nilijitoa kwa mtego, but I slapped him vizuri. Kwa sababu aliongea ni kama we are things to be used, and I hate that. I'm a feminist. Na mimi ukiongea kitu kwanza kuliingia someone mwenye amejifunga kama huyu. Unayoria. Nataka kufanya, sorry for using that word. Hata hajaenda international trips, nikamuuliza okay hajaenda, but she still has the dignity. The dignity is more important than the trips. So it is like they've normalized sleeping with women who are elected, not even nominated, elected women in the county assembly. Unakubali ufanyiwe kitu by the speaker ndio uende nje.
Yeah.
So they are making our lives miserable.
But let me ask you, Honorable, here, as you've mentioned very well, that one of the few things that women have gone through, right? Yeah. We can't really blame men inherently, and it is also women who are also accepting that. If let's say someone comes and approaches you, aseme, I want you to do this for me, and if kama hizo, mi niende maju. Si niwende umekubali?
Yeah, but there is
because
a lot of
can we really blame men fully?
For example,
I have accepted.
For example, you saw the other time there was a Muslim lady who was manhandled by the speaker of Nairobi County Assembly. So that thing it went viral mpaka the Muslims were to come and mpaka akaomba msamaha. And that happened because someone somewhere took the photo when they were not aware.
Yeah.
Akachukua video.
Yeah.
So it could go down. Msichana alikasirika, she was very hurt. But luckily someone took the video. If that never went that way, do you think that lady could be comfortable sitting in the county assembly?
Oh.
She could be harassed all through.
Yeah.
All through. So, as women, I wish women could stand for themselves.
Yeah.
Mimi nakuanga kama unaona ile kadudu kana kwanga na miba all through. I sipendi kuchokozwa.
Yeah.
Give me my space. If you feel I'm suffocating you, have your way.
Yeah, but now my question to you is particularly, achana na women who are being, pressured and persuaded every single time. And unakata, we know that goes on. And that's why you've said people need to speak up.
Yeah.
Even if kuna rafiki yako huko, huyo pia anafaa kukusipikia up, siwe peke yako. My question is, if there's a woman allowing herself, or allowing to, because we can't say herself alone, to sleep with
men
the way up, do we blame her? Do we say, misrepresent sisi kama wakina wake, ama tuseme, hiyo ni kazi yako. Kuna parliamentarians who have admitted, if you can use that, use it. And they have said it boldly on social media. So, do we put the blame them, as Shakira had said, they represent a women group, or tuseme, kila mtu na maisha yake?
No, we must blame them. They are shaming us as women community. They should stand for themselves. If I'm in the county assembly, it's because I use my brain to come there. Yeah. Why should I now use my legs to retain the seat I'm doing? I love this lady called Millie Odhiambo. There was a time she was harassed in the latrine. I think the first days of our parliamentary.
Yeah, the first time.
And she screamed. Someone was going out with the panty. And she screamed. Someone is doing everything. Yeah. And it went viral.
Yeah.
So the moment women we speak out and we call a spade, the time we'll speak and people will fear touching us.
Yeah.
Because when you allow a man to touch you, he'll touch you again and again. And he'll touch you even your girl. Men sometimes, God forbid, can do something to you and to your girl.
I agree.
And they don't feel ashamed. So women in Kenya, can we stand up? There was a time I went for a summit and it was led by a lady in Nairobi. And by then, that time, the lady was nominated. Yeah. Now she's elected. And then she said, you must use your legs properly to get this seat. I was very young. I was in my college schools. And I just walked out.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning.
I walked out because I'm here to earn language. Then to earn knowledge, they were telling me to use my legs. Why?
Unashanga huyo akili yote.
I felt bad and I walked out. Hata kujua nikitoka because I'm not there to
hear nonsense.
I'm there to earn language. Munaingia kwa bunge aje. Because I was interested in politics. But tunasema ati tutumie nini?
Lakini si amekwambia ukweli.
Ajaniambia ukweli. If she does that, now she's misleading the university students.
Of course she's misleading people, but isn't she telling you the truth at some point?
If she did that, doesn't mean that I did the same. So everyone came to the parliament through their own way. So kama ulitumia hiyo, wacha kuemphasize on that. You should be against that.
Yeah.
Hata unafaa kupreach about it, tuseme I used it but I feel very much. But imefika mahali mpaka unaona mwanamke unasimama, a man stands anaanza kukuambia. Like the other time you saw this guy in the State House called what? Huyu anaitwa nini huyu jamaa wa State House?
Mgani?
Kifaruku. Ndio Faruku.
Yeah.
Faruku anaamka ana shame Chege. I was expecting Chege to stand and speak out. But anacheka tu anaenda anakaa chini.
Yeah, but can we discuss that? Let me ask you women as well, Shakira being in the space and honorable, narudi kwao. Wanawake wakiambiwa wa dance kwa stage. Na tumesikia mara mingi wakikuwa kwa stage waambiwe aya dance na vitu kama hizo. Hamukasirikangi?
You should be ashamed that unaambiwa zungusha. What do I zungusha? You should stand. And huyo mama sayo angesimama aseme, no, you are my boss, but I won't do that. We could applaud her. Lakini sasa naogopa victimization ya party. But we are being pulled down because of that.
You know, you can be called upon, but what you do there ni shauri yako. Me, I dance like the late Raila Odinga. You know when alikuwa na dance. Hata yeleweki.
Hakuna dance style hapo.
But if you decide to go around and show us what you have, you see, we cannot protect you more than what you're doing there.
Yeah.
And yet again, I will add to something you talked about. In Kikamba, we say, or the men say, Vaikindo cha kukeye. Hakuna kitu yako imekula when they are giving out whatever they are giving to get those spaces. So it is not even the women who tell you like you can do what you want. It is the men who agree. Akitaka kutupea si atupatie. Sini sawa.
Can you imagine being spoken as tokens? Ati wesi wanadamu.
Ati hakuna kitu yako imekulwa. Ati wewe tulia nini unasumbuka na si wewe.
Unasumbuka kwa nini na si wewe. Wow, Shakira.
Shameful.
Please dive in what we are saying.
As the thing that just keeps ringing in my mind is that this is just a reflection of how society is in general.
Agree.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done so that these such incidences cannot just be considered normal. Okay, if a woman says to a younger person who's seeking mentorship that you need to open your legs, and she does not feel icky about it.
Yeah.
She's not even embarrassed to say, because it takes you to stand in front of people and use your voice on a microphone and say you need to open your legs. And you know the fact that they are not shaken by that we need to put question marks on a lot of areas in society. And sometimes I've been, when I was younger, I was a victim of molestation as a young girl. And it really took a long time for me to even say it happened to me.
Absolutely.
And it's because of the level of scrutiny and questioning that happens to the victims compared to what happens to the perpetrator. Because you're going to be asked, how did you end up there? Why did you allow? Why did you not say earlier?
It's like you.
And then give us evidence. How do you give evidence that you have been sexually harassed?
There is no
you
evidence.
know? Unless the people were there to actually witness it. And even these people witnessing it, it is hard for them to come out and speak in your defense because of just how society has been managed and how politics is done. You're going to go into spaces where you're going to go to an older lady, somebody you look up to as your mentor, and then they'll say, we have experienced worse. So if you have experienced worse, I should keep quiet because
this has happened to you.
This has happened to you, and other women have experienced worse.
Yeah.
Or somebody telling you that, let me tell you how to handle it, but secretively.
Can you imagine?
Let it not be known out there. You need to keep this on the low. Like, make it make sense. This is a society problem, and we need to figure out how to educate each other. Because me, I'm the type of person, if in a get together, some random uncle looks funnily at a younger, I will point at you and tell you, shame on you.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? But then it will mean the next gathering, I will not be invited.
I agree.
But the uncle is being invited. So who has the problem? Who has the problem, right? You go into a political space, maybe an organizing space, and you call out an individual, and this individual you've called out maintains their role, but you, as the person who does the calling out, you're being sidelined. So is the fault on the victim or on the harasser? So there needs to be some change that needs to occur within all of us as individuals, and as a society. What we give priority to, what we give preference to, and what we uphold as values. Because nobody is indispensable, but you're going to go into spaces where it's like, you need to forgive them because they are very important. They play such a very important role in whatever we are doing. So you who is not important, calm down, or walk away.
Yeah. Honorable Eunice, you looked like something you wanted to add. No, I was definitely okay. Yes, Honorable Mary.
I think as a nation, we were raised and grew in a wrong perspective in life. The norms and traditions that we've grown up with, kukubali vitu zenye hazifai, and when you talk them out to become the villains, it is wrong. Last year we had our scandals, as Honorable Eunice had talked about. Yeah. And yes, the issues were to do with the speaker and the governor. And I had my choice and preference of doing my own things, which not many people were accorded to.
Yeah.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I wasn't able to actually do what I wanted. It's because I was sidelined, because I called something out that wasn't right.
Can you
so imagine from last year, June, a week ago, I met our MP, who happens to be my friend. It is the time when he asked me, nini nilifanyika? Nilisikia ulifanya ABCD. What actually happened? You see, a year later.
Oh my gosh.
Now he had the opportunity of hearing my side. You see, he's an year late to ask what happened.
Can you imagine?
Nishasumbuliwa uko bunge, nishatosheka. I actually almost gave up my job because of that one decision I made.
I'm so sorry.
Of bringing peace to the county assembly and the executive.
Yeah.
Watu walikuwa wametoleana mashoka huko wapigane wamalizane. And I was for the idea of peace. Nikaambiwa
weka kando na hiyo peace yako.
Ile we nominated unaleta mdomo hapa.
Kwanza I'm sure unaitoka nominated mara mingi.
Mara mingi sana. So at least now my MP knows what happens. And for that, I'm in a better space with him. Unajua hata tungekaa because he didn't understand. Wewe ni nini mwenye husikie elected members?
Unasumbua.
So you can imagine what Shakili is talking about.
I can imagine.
If back at home we're not allowed to speak about what is happening because hata tupo nje mwenye makosa akae ndani na bado mimi kama mbunge, that is still happening to me. It means that our country is rotten in a way.
Yeah, let me ask, because you've spoken about nominations, right? And you're a nominated member of county assembly, so Mheshimiwa wetu. Let me ask, now, 2022 came in Kericho. Nominations were given to the girlfriends ya wakubwa. I mean, it was a whole thing. Now, I come from the Rift. So, hii kitu najua to the core. Hata najua majina zao. Na wengine wao bado wako kwa hizo positions. So, is that fair?
It is very much unfair.
So, to the same way, you're wrong. Well, imagine they give clueless people, but courtesy your girlfriend of the
like for example, MP. Now you've seen in our community. Let me know, because Kenyan politics is about community.
I agree.
In the lower eastern, you find that there are so many nominated members of our party, the party I belong. So many girls, but you'll never hear them speak. What you'll see them do, the opposite of what the party wants. They will go out the feast with the president. They will go and feast another party. But they don't care. Why? Because my boyfriend maybe brought me in, so atanitetea kwa party, which is so sad. Me, I believe a nominated member of parliament, I'm a member of any seat, is nominated by the party. So your jurisdiction, your area of work is the party. So you should work for that party tirelessly. you should stand for that party all through, because you are not elected by an area. You are
Nominated.
like, for example, your ward is UDA because they nominated you.
Yes.
So hakuna mtu anafaa kuunguza UDA ukiwa pale Machakos, because that is your office. And that is how it should be. But you find because ni boyfriend yangu amenipeleka pale, who cares? Mimi kazi yangu ni kupata mshahara na kung'ara.
Of course.
Na kwenda outings.
Yeah.
That is what they do. But we need brains in those parties. And the buck stops from the parties. Parties zenyewe, do they have that gender role? Do they have it in their parties?
Let me ask, because you've spoken about parties when we were getting there.
Yes.
Do parties treat women equally? Or mko na power huko ndani?
Hatuna power.
Hakuna power?
No, let me see.
Sorry
To interject.
Please, please do.
You know, instances like this, I question really what we are supposed to be doing. Because you'll find somebody like Eunice and Mary.
Yeah.
They're in spaces. They know what happens in
those spaces.
in the parties.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when we were conversing just before we started recording, Mary said there's situations where she's being told to serve tea because she's a woman, and she's like, fine, let me just serve tea, because she knows what brought her into this space. And
Yeah, and it's like that.
She's trying as much as she can to navigate and maintain that position so that she can do the work that she purposed to do. So the burden of trying to overcome this systemic rot is, again, on the woman, on the victim. Why is it that, for example, men are never in a situation where they have to choose, do I just ignore something that I hate because of the purpose that brought me here, or I just leave it and ignore the purpose? You see, a societal problem. We really need to heal as a society to figure out how to navigate these unfair patriarchal issues, because being patriarchal in itself is not a wrong thing per se, but it is how us Kenyans have ended up translating it. Yeah.
Kuna kitu ilikuwa imekuguza. Najua unataka kuongea. Please take the mic, it is all yours.
Kwa siasa, power is taken, it's never given.
Yeah.
We might not get leverage as women in political parties. No one is going to hand it to us.
Yeah.
It is you to think like a genius, speak like a child, and work your way. Ukianza zile vita umesema za mikono nini ati unasumbuana na watu because they're in higher spaces,
Yeah.
they will never give you those spaces. So be smart. Hakuna siku any political party will give us leverage.
What does smart look like?
Smart.
What is smart?
The smart means
Smart.
I keep
Smart
quiet
part.
when someone
Smart
touches
is
my bum.
knowing Shakila is the head of administration. I want ABCD. Shakila is a man. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to give my body. I will make sure kama chenye anatakaga sana for administration ni numbers za chama. Si ni numbers anataka? Nitamuongezea watu. I'll make sure nimeenda kwa ground. I mobilize people. Niandikisha watu wakuja kwa chama. I will make sure that Shakila will be looking for me. Not me for her. Akitaka kitu Machakos, is she going to call?
Wewe.
Ni mimi. So who has the power there?
You.
Nani ako na power?
Wewe.
Ni mimi.
Lakini we au shout.
Mimi si shout.
Yeah.
Si nimejua chenye anataka.
Okay, on what Mary is
Playing
saying,
safe, what does that mean? Smart.
Playing
Sorry.
safe, for example, playing safe is like, I'm a lady, and I know what happened in 2022 to me.
Yes. Your experience. Yeah.
So I'm working for this party called Wiper, Patriotic Front. And because I know I'm not a man, that is number one, that's a disadvantage because you're not a man. And being a lady, saa hii hakuna ile kukimbia ukipea watu pesa. But what I'm doing, it is my strategy. I'm registering people to my party. Chini ya maji. I don't know party walijua aje. Hakuna kitu kinafanyika kama sipigiwe simu. Unasikia umeshika hapo kuja. So I realized that is a weakest point for the men. They don't register people. They just come pour money and get votes.
Yeah.
Now when I'm doing that, wanakuja. Nani huko wanaambiwa ni Eunice. Unajua ni ground wanasema. That's what we had a meeting yesterday. I was telling people online meeting. Wacheni story ya nataka funding. Shika ground. The parties will come and look for you. Be it you are a man or a woman.
Because you have the power now.
Shika ground. Okay, shika ground. I realize that is the power the party needs. Party needs people. Not money. Or not even how beautiful you are. If you have the people in the ground, watakutafuta. And no one will harass you. Kwa sababu watasema, hapo fulani ndiye amefanya ABC. Last time I registered people, more than 8,000, but I never knew how to do it. You understand? So I was doing it, mbara napeleka kwa ofisi tu, mwenye kwa ofisi na hata sema ni nani ameleta these people. Naendea card na register, but now I'm very smart. I'm registering you, I'm taking your details.
Yeah.
So ni wewe uko kwa kitabu yangu. And I go with the book there with 2,000.
Yeah.
So nilierevuka. Unaambia ukirudia class unakuwa mwerevu zaidi.
Ukweli.
Not unless utaki kusoma.
Yeah.
So for women I could say, if you want to work for these parties, work smart. Don't shout.
Yeah.
Work smart.
Usikuwa kelele.
Wewe fanya mambo yako tu. Watu ndio watasema. Na vile itafika kwa ofisi utajua.
Let me ask you, umesema hiyo, is there enough voter education to women? Especially young women who want to enter politics. Juu unafika hapo unashtuka, kumbe hii ndio system. Kama venye Eunice amesema, sikuwa najua hii 2017, but now I know, I have information. And I agree, with the age comes wisdom, with experience comes wisdom. And I also think as young people or as Gen Z, we might not know everything Millie Odhiambo knows with the years of experience she has, right? Or Phoebe Asi or the late.
Like on that, we had a meeting at KU.
Yeah.
Gen Zs and those who want to sit.
Yeah.
And I was sad to say.
Yeah.
Eric Omondo organized that meeting, and we went there. We were around 200, 300.
Yeah.
And you could see someone amesimama pale mbele, I'm the students leader and ABC
Positions, yeah.
mpaka unasikia unasema, God, I wish you knew Kenyan politics.
What was they saying? What are the examples?
Yani they feel like they should be funded, they should be done what? Yani the young people, the problem we have, the young people.
Entitlement.
Tunataka sana entitlement na tunataka sana kusaidiwa. Forgetting that politics hakuna mwenye atakusaidia. It is you
Hauna
to find your space. Unaitafuta. Like I love Millie Odhiambo, although she came to politics through nomination at first.
Yeah.
But she used her nomination very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah, I think in her
Mpaka kila mtu akajua the lady is here.
I think in her book she mentions, for someone who's still in a politician, she mentions that while she was 205, when she just became a member of National Assembly, she mentions people started saying she's the girlfriend of this person. And if you read her book, you know who that is. And she said, kama umesema hivyo, tuende nayo hata kama si ukweli. You know, let me just go with it because it's not true. And because of that, she became feared. Because watu wanasema, Kanu ni girlfriend wa huyo, tumwache. And it was not true. At that time, it was not true. So do you think, what are some of the tactics? Guess example, as you said, playing safe in terms of numbers. Kavnya amesema, I have power and I have numbers. Is there anything else you can add where young people can be able to know?
Yeah. I can say it's not yet Uhuru. We're not yet there. But what we can do is stop gatekeeping. What you've learned, it's been bumpy. Najua sengine atake kutoa cards zote on the table. But it's high time we do that because I can't be a leader forever. Yeah. Someone has to take after me.
Yeah.
So yes, please, moche ku gatekeep and make sure we're in the right places. If at all I have political ambitions, sasa mimi sitashinda nikienda kutembea kwenye hakuna stories of politics. How am I going to learn? It's how you can go wherever you want because you can't be all round and want one particular position. You have to align yourself correctly.
I agree. Shakira, do you think there's enough voter education for women? Kukaa rada, like expect mtu anaweza jaribu kukutolea address.
There's not enough voter education, period. So, being a woman and lacking certain levels of information, it disadvantages you even more compared to the male gender. And actually speaking as somebody who's very active on the digital space, efforts by people like me, Hanifa, to actually, come out and bring this voter education and engagement to the people, we end up now experiencing this level of unfair propaganda against us. Abuse, literally people abusing you because you are a woman. Yeah. Or again, making comments about how you look, how you choose to present yourself, how you talk about your family and things like that. Yeah. And then if you look at the same person doing the same thing I'm doing as a woman, a man, you don't get any such comments about them. Yeah. So voter education is lacking and effort is there to try and make sure people get this information. Yeah. But again, women are unfairly disadvantaged when it comes to receiving this information and us who are trying to propagate the information.
And I think almost most of the time, we really, really need to talk about this. I think tunafaa kuwa literally na forum kubwa KICC.
Yes.
Now to come and tell us, this is what's happening on the ground. This is what you need to understand. This is what we need to learn about what's happening. And even playing smart, I think we need to have this conversation kusema ukweli. Just kila mtu akienda empty, we will never formulate the truth agenda rule that we're trying to say every day. Now, even as we close in, I want us to give us, najua time, hapa time inaendanga mbio, utashtuka imeshaenda. I'm going to start with you, Honorable Eunice. Give us your parting shot even as we close. As a young woman who's trying to get into elective positions, you've tried before, leave us with one thing as we close over.
I will talk on women. I told you I'm a feminist. I will
Yes,
tell
you did.
women, number one, stop being emotional. Men know that we are emotional, so they will strike on you. Ukilialia washasonga.
So usilie.
No.
What does it mean to be emotional?
Hata mimi nilikuwa
I really do
nimesema.
not like that statement.
Okay, emotional.
To just
Walikuwa
emotional.
nimeenda
Let me
emotional.
expound on it.
Yeah.
When I joined politics, ungeniambia kitu na najua si ya ukweli. I could cry even before you.
So kama pia
Atuwe
alikuambia
ninafikia
mfupa.
fulani nitalia. But I came and realized in political arena hakuna mtu atakuhurumia. Ambiwa sema yes, enda kwa nyumba lilia huko. Ukitoka kwa nyumba
So
umedai.
you don't show your
No. In
Emotion.
politics you show your emotions were done. Wanajua hapo ndio watakuwa na kugonga ukilialia washasonga na wewe. Number 2, when people tell you something, usikatae.
like
When
what?
itafikia fulani, yes, so utadu. The moment umekataa, now they capitalize on that. Wataanza kutengenezea story. Wewe ni girlfriend ya fulani, utadu. Story inaisha. Utakubali? Bali imeisha. So tujifunze wanawake, take what you are being told. If it is a negative thing, make it positive. Make a lemonade out of a lemon. Then throw back to them. Watakosa ya kusema. Yes, jumi ukinishika mali sema tumepata nikifanya, I did it.
Yeah.
Sikuwa naomba ruhusa yako, utadu.
Yeah.
Inaishia wapi? The more unakataa, the more they capitalize on it. Mimi nimetusiwa na watu sana kwa mtandao.
Yeah.
Na kuna mechanism moja nimegrow. Ya ukinitusi kwa Facebook, sikurudishiangi hapo.
Kabisa.
I will find you one on one. Yes, that is what I do.
Yeah.
Mimi sinanga time ya juu hawezi nitusi kama wewe si wa pipeline ward. Uko pale.
Yeah.
So nitakutafuta ukiwa peke yako and I will deal with you. Na hiyo
Utampata mtu online.
I will unafuatanga na watu wenye wako ward yako. Kama saa hii mimi hata ukiangalia kwa Facebook, 90% of those who view my things they are from Embakasi. Because that is where my interest is.
Yeah.
Kuna ile ni wameleta ya Facebook view ni wanaume wangapi who are they? Unapata wengi ni wa hapo kwako.
Yeah.
Unapata hata ukifungua sudo nitakupata. I have a way of finding people.
Yeah.
So ndio nasema women tunaonekana kama vulnerable but we are not. We are strong. Anyone who has a kid knows the process we go through. So if we can do that, we can as well lead this country. So my parting shot is as women, wacha tupendane. Let's make to love one another na to cherish one another. If a fellow woman stands for a seat,
Yeah.
kuwa mtu wa kwanza kumfunika leso. Usikuwe mtu wa kwanza kumvua nguo.
Na kumwanika.
Cover them and embrace them. Because kama mimi sahi niko na slogan nawaambia round hii lazima paipu mutanyonya wote and they are laughing of it, wana make new fun of it, but naambia that is a slogan of mine. Kitambo muniongelelea kalisema I don't even nimesonga mbele nimetaja for the journey. So it's about how much are you known, unajulikana aje na kunyonyesha si mbaya. So I'm using the ile ni mnatumia but on a way yenye itanitafutia umaarufu.
Yeah.
Na itanipaka shame. Juu sitavaa nguo yenye nguo ziko nje. I have to be to dress smart yenye hata ukienda kunifanyia vitu. Juu sahii kuna AI. And I think AI will do a very big role in 2027.
I think I also have a lot of concern about AI
Yes,
in 2027.
but I love
especially
it.
to women.
Me, when I went to politics, I told my dad and my mom, be ready to see me naked. It will not be me,
But be ready
but
to.
my head will be mine. Watakuwa wamechukua wameweka kwa mtu wako uchi. So,
Wasitense.
because nimeingia kwa siasa, don't tense. This is a Eunice of you know her since she was born, and I cannot change because I'm in politics. So enlighten your people who are around you.
Yeah.
Wakiona vitu zingine wasianze yes, na usikubali upuliwe
Kabisa.
down na watu.
Thank
Stand
you.
tall.
Thank you so
Stand
much.
tall.
Honorable. Stand tall.
Thank
Tumesikia
you.
hiyo.
Yeah, stand tall.
Asante sana. Shakira, parting shot even as we finish this conversation.
For me, I'd just say show up. Show up even with all the weaknesses, with all the deficiencies that you're being told you have. You know what you want and you know what you're capable of. So just show up. people are going to talk. That's saying that you will lie down for somebody to walk over you, and they will say you are not lying down flat enough. Human beings can never, you can never satisfy people 100%.
That's true.
So you just
Also, if you
show up.
satisfy people, there's something wrong with you.
There's a problem, right? There's a problem.
You cannot satisfy.
So it's just show up. Show up however you are. Even when unaambiwa wewe ni mnono, wewe ni mifupa, show up. You're being told wewe ni single mother, show up. You're being told you cannot sustain a marriage, show up. Because you know what you're capable of, and you know what is bringing you to this room or to this table. And I really don't like the statement of emotion scandal.
Yeah.
I feel like everything in our existence as human beings is emotional. We only refer to emotions when it's women crying or women shouting, upset. But mwanaume akikasirika ambio wangu yako emotional. Akipiga kelele huko akipiga mtu ambio ako emotional. Akona
wanasemanga uko na. So unashanga
even being emotional exactly. Me, I'm like, with all your emotions, show up. Even if you're crying and you're speaking up for women and you're speaking up for your people, cry while you speak. Si watakusikiza na watakucheka, lakini si watakusikiza na watakuwa wamekusikia.
Asante sana Shakira. Shakira karibu apande apato. Asema cry. You said Honorable Eunice. Mary. I'm so sorry. Honorable Mary. Our mheshimiwa. Please do. Finish us up with what you have to say.
Pretty privilege will always be a talk.
Yes.
Lazima tutaitwa flower girls. But we have to remember that inclusive governance is not cosmetic.
Come on.
Sindio, it is not. Make sure you know how to run on your heels. It takes a superwoman to run on the heels. Sindio, make sure you do that. Hivyo tu.
Wow. A true mheshimiwa. Tumesikia hiyo kabisa. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. I want to just list a few things women have gone through for elective positions so that we can feel the heaviness of what women actually go through. Number one, there's a lady named Alicia. This was reported by Al Jazeera. Is that she said, my former MP brought stained panties to the rally and told the crowds, you can't listen to her because I've been sleeping with her. She's my wife. You shouldn't take her seriously. That's number one. Number two, Mary Mugure alikuwa ameenda kuvote at Mukuru, and akaambiwa it was just to intimidate me, to make me step down. That is the same thing she was told. Miri Odhiambo had her house burnt during her party primaries, Kitambo, and her bodyguard was killed. I think she's shared this before, especially in her book. Liz Njue attacked while trying to cast her ballot during a party primary. Susan Kihika and Wavinya Ndeti, our governors, have been publicly criticized and attacked on social media for their marriages. Sinajua, wanasema, ewe anakalia bwana yake, ewe anafanya vitu kama hizo. So all these sources are from Al Jazeera and a few observatory groups. So what we're trying to say is, isi itu ya wanawake wenye hawana pesa ama wako kwa chini. It happens to the top, to hadi uko chini. I think it's important for every single woman to speak out regardless of any hierarchical position that you are. But especially those who are in government. Jua meko hapo jamani. Tutete. Unajua huyu mtu wa chini atawezaje kuongea kama na intimidatiwa na ule ajua hajaongea. So kama sio ni representative wangu, hata wengine hata wajui menrep wao ni nani. Jua hata wajaionekana nyumbani. After walifanya hiyo walinunua Prado na wakuonekana tena hii Kenya. So thank you so much for joining us today on the roundtable dialogue on quote-unquote flower in politics. And that's not what we're trying to say. We're trying to say women are powerful beings that God created, but we are so powerful in our society as well. And we are just not left to the homemaking process, but we can also be very impactful in our political arena. I cannot wait to see how 2027 is going to look like. I genuinely cannot have. I hope the governors itaongezeka. I hope CS positions itaongezeka as well. Naomba jamani wanawake, let's go into those elective positions one way or another. Thank you so much for joining us at the Roundtable Dialogue. Thank you so much. See you on the next episode. Asanteni wa mama sana.
Thank you for having us. It was a beautiful conversation. Thank you.